this is the video that I've really been waiting to do. This is the take it apart and hack it and show you what's inside video. So I get to show you all the cool little parts. One thing I really need to get out of the way is I can take almost no credit for the electronics inside. That credit goes to Rocket Scream Electronics. They make the reflow oven controller shield for the Arduino, and I contacted them, and we took their design and smushed it together and turned it into what I'm about to show you. But yeah, they get all the credit. So if I get any of the technical details wrong, you'll see a little thing on the YouTube that shows you what I did wrong, but I think I got it down. Anyway, I'm going to show you what's inside, and hopefully it gets you drooling with all the little cool tweaks you could do and the fun you could have. So let's take it apart. Okay, so let's start by taking off the case. You can see here we've got a DB9 connector and 5 pieces. One of the things I'm really proud of in this case design is that I rastered a groove into the pieces, and that's what actually holds the front board or the main board in place. So that's kind of neat. Let's see here. So got our DB9 connector, we have our input card and our output card. I'm actually in the prototype version, we use these pin connectors. You'll see in the images on the website that we actually switched to card edge connectors because it gave us a little bit more room in the payload area, and also if you want to make your own card, it's a lot easier to just have flat contacts rather than having to solder in a pin connector. So you can see here's the relay card. There's 2 here for the prototype. The card that gets shipped has a space for 2, but to keep costs down, we only put 1 in there. For most people, that's fine. If you need a second relay, you can solder 1 in. Nothing really crazy to see here. You've got a jumper, so you can choose. There's 2 outputs that come from the main board, and by default, one of them goes to the relay, one of them goes to the SSR, or to the digital output. This jumper determines what happens there. On the input card, we've got fairly simple thermocouple chip, and then we have a voltage divider to do the thermistor. Again, this is a prototype. On the final version, the labeling is on the outside, which makes more sense so that you can see it from the outside. Now here is the fun part. Okay, this thing is action-packed. We've got an Arduino 328P. An Atmega, and it's running the Arduino bootloader. We've got our input and output sides. Both of these have I2C and osPID going to them, so anything you plug in here, you should be able to make it work. If you can't make it work with the pins that are available, you can make it work using I2C. So that should be good. You've got your power. This thing can support 24 volt in, so pretty much any wall wart you want to use shouldn't be a problem. Anything else interesting on this side? The jumper. So this is the jumper that determines whether the Arduino resets itself upon serial communications or not. Obviously, this is disconnected so that when we plug in the front end, it won't reset what's going on inside. But if you want to use it for something else, you may want to have that jumper on there. So we left that as a jumper. All right, on the front side, we've got a USB mini, and it's on there surprisingly good. You see this thing, you think it's just going to fall right over, but that thing is on there tight, so not too much of a problem there. Reset button, an 8x2 liquid crystal, and then we've got 4 buttons. These are actually ganged together onto an analog input. That's how we can get 4 buttons and still have enough room for everything else. 1 USB LED that does both RxTX. And I think that's it. But so this is insane. Okay, this is an Arduino with some extra pinouts, but it's really this is a 47 millimeters on a side, and you've got a screen, some buttons. You can do a lot of stuff with this. If I can think of a lot of stuff to do with this, I can only imagine what like a real hacker can do with this. So we're also going to make, just to kind of bring the, I'm sorry, there's also a buzzer on this side, which is kind of cool. You can make that thing buzz. It's surprisingly loud. So one of the other cards that we're planning on making is just a proto card that'll slide in here, so you can make whatever kind of input or output cards you want for this thing. We're also just going to do some breakout cards, because as I said, these are going to be card edge connectors. So we'll do some breakouts so that you can just get access to the hard pins if that's what you want. I don't know what the final price is going to be on just this board, but something tells me people are going to want just this board. There's some really, really neat things that you can probably do with this thing. So that's pretty awesome, right? You've got a tiny little Arduino that you could do whatever you want with, little buttons on the front. Or, I mean, you could leave it as a PID controller and just, maybe add Ethernet to it, or any other 8 billion things I can't think of. The sky's the limit. I cannot wait to see what awesome things people come up with.